Om Shanti, good morning. Today we will listen to Baba's Murli, dated 19th October 2020. Baba says, sweet children, you now have to remain very, very simple. When you wear expensive, fashionable clothes, body consciousness comes. Question: in which aspect do children become lazy if they don't have a high status in their fortune? So pay attention to the answer and see whether we have a high status in our fortune and whether we are not becoming lazy in this aspect. So Baba says, children, in order to reform yourselves, keep your chart. There's a lot of benefit in keeping a chart of your remembrance. Always keep a notebook with you. Check for how long you stayed in remembrance of the Father. So in the notebook, make columns. And the first checking is, how long did I stay in remembrance of the Father? Second, what is your register like? So what is my account of good and evil deeds? So what is my register like? Third, is your character divine? Now we have to think about these matters. What do we mean by divine character? What do we mean by a good register? A good register where the credit of karma is good and the debit of karma is low. So that is a good register. Now we have to think about and really churn over how to maintain a register of karma. Also have a good definition of what divine character means. And then check whether my character stayed divine. Do you stay in remembrance of Baba while doing everything? This is another point of checking. It is only when you have remembrance that your rust can be removed and your fortune can become elevated. Now you see there are two words, check and change, which go together. Until and unless we check, how can we change? Until and unless there is diagnosis, how can there be treatment? So if we are not paying attention to the checking, if we are not maintaining a chart about how our state is, whether we are remembering Baba, whether our characters are devilish or divine, or whether my register is full of evil karma or good karma, or whether I am remembering Baba while doing work or not. If I don't even maintain a register, then how can I even think of change? So Baba says, this is the sign that I have a great fortune ahead if I am paying attention to the checking and the change. Song, no one is unique like the innocent Lord. So God is called the innocent Lord and God is unique. Om Shanti. You sweetest children should definitely have a picture of Lakshmi and Narayan in your homes. So how many of you have a picture of Lakshmi and Narayan in your homes? If you don't have a picture of Lakshmi and Narayan, it means that you don't have a picture of what you want to become. And if you don't have a picture of what you want to become, if you don't have an aim and objective, if you don't have the aim and objective on your face every day, if you don't remember the aim and objective, see the aim and objective, then how do you acquire the qualifications? Because it is said that the aim draws the qualifications. So if your focus is on the aim, then you will pay attention to become worthy of reaching that aim. So Baba says you should experience great happiness on seeing it, because it is the aim and objective of the study. You know that you are students and that God is teaching you. You are God's students. You are studying this study. Everyone's aim is the same. So when you go to an engineering school, it doesn't mean that one person's aim is to be an engineer and another person's aim is to be a doctor. So Baba says, no, this is God's school and God is teaching, and everyone has the same aim, to become a deity, which is become full of divine virtues, become like Lakshmi and Narayan. So first, when we get admitted in the school, we should know which school we have got admitted to, and what is our aim in that school, and who is our teacher. So Baba says we are God's students and our aim and objective is to become like Lakshmi and Narayan, and that is the aim of everyone studying here. There should be great happiness on seeing this picture. You children heard the song, He is the Lord who is very innocent. Some consider Shankar to be the innocent Lord. They have mixed up Shiva and Shankar. You now know that Shiva is God, the highest on high, and the highest on high can only be incorporeal. And that Shankar is a deity because Shankar is shown to have a subtle body. So how could they be one and the same? You also heard in the song that he is the protector of the devotees. The devotees must definitely be experiencing calamities. There are the calamities of the 5 vices for everyone. So what is it that the devotees are struggling with, that they need protection from God? So the devotees are under the sway or under the wrath of the 5 vices. And that is why we call out to God and God comes to save us. Everyone is a devotee. No one can be called a knowledgeful soul. Just as Shiva and Shankar are separate, so knowledge and devotion are also completely separate. Once you receive knowledge, devotion doesn't remain. You become the masters of the land of happiness. You receive salvation for half the cycle. Through just one signal, you attain your inheritance for half the cycle. You can see how many difficulties the devotees have. Through knowledge, you become deities. Then when the devotees are in difficulty, that is when they experience calamities and sorrow, the Father comes. The Father explains according to the drama, whatever happened in the past has to repeat again. So Baba says that when you call out, at that time there is no knowledge, because knowledge means liberation from sorrow. So when I come, when I give you the knowledge, you become liberated from sorrow for half the cycle. And then again, you start calling out because you lose your power. And then when you call out, again I come and again I take you to the land of happiness. So everything keeps repeating. So Baba says when there is devotion, there is no knowledge, because knowledge means going to the land of peace and happiness. So when there is peace and happiness, there is no devotion. So just like Shiva and Shankar are separate, devotion and knowledge are separate. So Baba says, then when worshipping begins, the path of sin, which means the path of becoming impure, begins. Because devotion and sorrow exist side by side. And sorrow, the root cause of sorrow is sin. So, on the path of devotion, there is also the path of sin. So, Baba says people keep engaging in the sin of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed and keep calling out. And that is why the sorrow keeps increasing, the calling also, the devotion also keeps increasing. And then when Baba comes, Baba tells us the root cause of sorrow and asks us to become free of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. So Baba says that in this, the number one vice is lust. It is said of this, by conquering lust, you become conquerors of the world. They don't gain victory. No one in the kingdom of Ravan can take birth without vice. So Baba says, as long as there is Ravan, there is the kingdom of Ravan, there is the kingdom of devotion, you don't conquer lust. Because in the kingdom of Ravan, nobody can take birth without lust. And now when I come, you become pure, and then the kingdom of Ravan finishes, and then in the new world, nobody takes birth by lust. So Baba says the kingdom of Ravan doesn't exist in the golden age. If Ravan were to exist there too, what would God establish the kingdom of Ram for? If there was the vices and sorrow, because vices and sorrow go together. So if there are vices in God's kingdom also, then why did God come at all? Our Father has so much concern that all his children should remain happy. He accumulates wealth to give to his children to keep them happy. However, it is not like that here. This is the world of sorrow. So even if a physical father tries very hard that his children are happy, because he passes on his inheritance of vices to the children, because every father also gets their children married, also shows them the path of being body conscious, because this is who the father is, so he makes the child likewise. So then even if he wants to give them happiness, there is still sorrow, because the root cause of sorrow is vices. The unlimited Father says you experience happiness for birth after birth there, because there are no vices. You receive plenty of wealth there. You don't experience sorrow there for 21 births. No one goes bankrupt there. Let your intellects imbibe these things and you can stay very happy internally. So just think about what kind of world we are creating for ourselves, and it will give us a lot of happiness. Your knowledge and yoga are completely incognito. If somebody asks you if there is a book of knowledge, there is no book. There are only these 4-page murlis every day. And then anybody says, what do you do in yoga? So we can't show them what we do because it is incognito. So our knowledge is incognito, our yoga is also incognito. Baba says you don't have physical weapons, etc. The Father explains this is the sword of knowledge. They have symbolized this with physical weapons on the goddesses. So they say when it was the reign of devils, then God created Shaktis or goddesses. And these Shaktis kill those demons with physical weapons. But now we have understood that the devils are also incognito, which are the vices, and the Shaktis are also incognito. The weapons that the Shaktis hold, the weapon of knowledge, the weapon of yoga, they are all incognito. So it is all symbolic. The devil is symbolic, the weapon is symbolic, the Shakti is symbolic. So Baba says, those who study the scriptures, etc., never say that this is the sword of knowledge or the bracelet of knowledge. Only the unlimited Father can explain this. They believe that since the Shakti army gained victory, they must definitely have had weapons. The Father comes and tells you about all of these mistakes. Many people will listen to all of these things of yours. So now the time has come and people are actually recognizing that these things are symbolic. Earlier, people used to get very offended when we said that the Shaktis are symbolic and the weapons are symbolic. But with time, you see, every version that Baba spoke is coming out to be true. So Baba is saying that many people will listen to all of these things of yours. Even the scholars, etc., will come one day. He is the unlimited Father, is he not? It is only by following Srimad that you children can experience benefit. Your body consciousness will then break. So, only when we break our body consciousness can we rise over vices, because vices are an offshoot of body consciousness. Now, Baba says you should also aim to break body consciousness, and Baba's Srimad is the directions given to break body consciousness. And what is the direction Baba is giving today? Baba is saying, this is why wealthy people don't come here, because they don't want to break their body consciousness. The Father says, renounce all pride in your body. People have great intoxication of their fine clothes, etc. You are now in a state of simplicity. You are now going to your in-laws' home. Which is the in-laws' home? The golden age. There you will have plenty of ornaments to wear. You mustn't wear expensive clothes here. The Father says, remain very simple. Also remember, whatever actions I perform, others will copy that. You children also have to remain very simple. Otherwise, there is body consciousness. So if you wear something which is expensive and very decorative, then that pulls your intellect. And then you become ornament conscious, you become clothes conscious, and you don't become soul conscious and Baba conscious. So Baba says, don't let anything pull your buddhi. So live life so simply. Let everything around you, whatever you wear, however you dress, let it be so simple that you, the soul, can be free of its consciousness and you can remember Baba. So Baba says, all of that causes a lot of damage. You know that you are going to your in-laws' home. There you will receive plenty of jewelry. You mustn't wear jewelry, etc. here. Nowadays, there is a great deal of robbery. Robbers rob you in the streets. Day by day, this kind of upheaval, etc. will continue to increase. Also, Baba says, this is a tamopradhan world, and in a world where theft and robbery are the order of the day, it is not advisable to wear expensive ornaments. So Baba says, if you follow Baba's Srimad, you are benefited in every way. A, you don't cause yourself loss by becoming body conscious and by your intellect being pulled away from Baba. And B, you are also safe from external attack. And Baba says, this is why the Father says, consider yourselves to be soul and remember me. By becoming body conscious, you forget the Father. It is only at this time that you have to make this effort. Later on the path of devotion, you won't need to make this effort of becoming soul conscious, right? So there you will not have the Srimad that to be simple or not to wear ornaments. This Srimad will not be available. And this is the only time when you have to make effort to keep you, the soul, free from all attractions and repulsions and only remember Baba. Because this is the time when you need a lot of power to deal with whatever is going on around you. And that power will be available only when I am aligned with Baba. And I will only remember Baba when I am free from all other pulls and attractions. You are now at the confluence age. You know that the Father comes at the most elevated confluence age. War will definitely take place. Many atomic bombs, etc., continue to be manufactured. Now they are being manufactured, and they are definitely not being manufactured to be just stored away or kept away. So they will be used. No matter how much you beat your heads for them to stop doing that, it is not possible. Why? It is fixed in the drama. So just like, a creation or establishment is fixed in the drama, so destruction is also fixed in the drama. And just like we are making effort according to drama, they are also making effort according to drama. Even when you try to explain to them, they don't understand. Death definitely has to take place, and death will take place. So there has to be some system created so that death can take place. Therefore, how could they stop doing that? They understand everything, and yet they don't stop manufacturing them. This is fixed in the drama. The Yadavas and the Kauravas have to be destroyed. And they fight amongst each other and get destroyed, right? Yadavas are the people who live in Europe. They are proud of their signs through which destruction takes place. Then there is victory through the pride of silence. So Baba says they have a pride of signs. They have a lot of faith and trust in the power of signs. And what do we have the pride of? What do we have faith in? We have faith in the power of silence. So they keep increasing their power and we keep increasing our power. So Baba says victory, there is victory through the pride of silence. You are taught to have the pride of silence, that is, become an embodiment of silence. You believe that silence is the power which will take you to victory. So you keep increasing it so much so that you become the embodiment of silence. Remember the Father, dead silence. I, a soul, am detached from this body. How do you become an embodiment of the power of silence? By practicing dead silence. I, the soul, am detached from this body. Does anyone else make effort to leave his body as we do? So people go to learn the art of living, but here we learn the art of dying. So Baba says, go and search throughout the whole world. Is there anyone else who says, oh soul, I now have to leave this body? Become pure. Otherwise, there will be experiencing of punishment. Who experiences punishment? Souls. So nobody is trying to become pure because they have to leave the body, and they have to leave the body without punishment. Now Baba says the soul experiences punishment. Everything that you experience, it is the soul that experiences because of attachment to the body. At that time, souls receive visions of the sins they have committed and the punishment that they are to receive for those sins. At such time, that soul feels as though he is receiving the punishment of many births. If so much sorrow is experienced, what would be the balance of happiness that remains? Baba says, you see, just like a student, he doesn't feel sorrowful when he doesn't study. He doesn't feel sorrowful when he doesn't write anything in the exam. But when the report card comes, he feels a lot of sorrow. Similarly, Baba says, in the end, you will receive visions of whatever you did and you didn't do. And then the soul will feel a lot of sorrow. And if you feel so much sorrow at the time of leaving the body, then what will be the balance of happiness? And the closing account in this life will be the opening account in the next life. So if I have so much sorrow in the closing account, how can I take birth in the land of happiness in the next birth? So Baba says, you must not perform any more sinful acts. Keep your register. Now, in order to keep a register of sinful acts, we need to first understand what sinful acts mean. So there are three kinds of sins. First, doing what you shouldn't do. So Baba in the Murli every day tells what we shouldn't do. Then not doing what you should do. So Baba also tells what is the duty of every soul. Remembering Baba, doing seva, these are the duties of a soul. If we don't do that, that also comes into the account of sin. Then the third is taking sorrow. So in order to check whether I am creating an account of sin, I first need to have an understanding of sin. Because on the path of devotion, we don't have such an understanding. So Baba says, keep a register of sins. Baba says, in every school, they keep a register of everyone's activity and behavior. Even the education minister says, the character of Bharat is no good now. Tell them, we are making our characters like those of Lakshmi and Narayan. Always keep a picture of Lakshmi and Narayan with you. That is your aim and objective. We are becoming like them. We are establishing the original, eternal deity religion by following Srimad. Everyone's activity and behavior is being reformed here. So tell them, tell the ministers, tell the government that this is no ordinary satsang where people just come and listen and go. This is a satsang where God is teaching and is teaching us how to reform our activity and behavior and our character. And we keep a register of how much reform we have had. So this is something that the government should know, that God has come and is creating a kingdom of deities here. You hold a court here. So there is also a court where children see whether each one is getting reformed or not. And anybody has a complaint against anybody's character, they tell the father that so and so did this, and they bring it to the notice that adequate reform is not taking place. So Baba says, children at all the centers should also hold a court. Tell them, keep your chart every day so that you can be reformed. And each child should also keep his own chart so that they can also improve every day. If it is not in someone's fortune, he becomes lazy. It is very good to keep your chart. You understand that by knowing this cycle of 84 births, you become rulers of the globe. It is so easy. However, you also have to become pure. So now that you know that you were the deity, so this knowledge is very important. And then you also have to become pure, because just by knowing that you were pure is not enough. You have to also become pure again. So Baba says, keep your chart of the pilgrimage of remembrance. You will benefit a great deal by doing that. If you don't keep a note of it, then it's understood that you do not remember Baba. You should always have your notebook with you. You have to keep your chart. Yes, you have to write it down somewhere. You don't even remember what you ate for breakfast, then how can you remember what you thought, what you felt, whether you remembered Baba or not, or what happened, what went wrong inside you. So all these matters have to be written down. So Baba says anyone who has attention to claiming a high status will always keep a notebook and keep noting where their deficiencies lie. So Baba says, if you don't keep a note of it, then it's understood that you do not remember Baba. You should always have your notebook with you. You have to keep your chart. For how long did I remember the Father? Unless you have remembrance, your rust cannot be removed. In order for rust to be removed from something, it is put into paraffin. So Baba is the ocean of purity, and his purity is like the paraffin. And when I connect my buddhi with that ocean of purity, then I, the soul, become cleansed. It is like dipping myself in the ocean of purity by connecting my buddhi with Baba. While doing everything, remember the Father and you'll receive the fruit of your efforts. Baba says, it does take effort. You won't be crowned just like that. So, so you see, even for a small job, one person has to work so hard. And Baba says, here I am giving you the kingdom for 21 births. So definitely you have to make some effort. I won't crown you just like that. Baba is giving you such a high status, therefore some effort does have to be made. You don't have to use your hand or feet, etc. here. So Baba is not making you do any physical effort. This study is absolutely easy. Your intellects are aware of what you are being made into by Shiv Baba through Brahma. Wherever you go, you must always have your badge with you. Tell them, in fact, this is our coat of arms. So this is our insignia, emblem. So Baba says there has to be great royalty in explaining to others. Explain with a lot of sweetness. Explain the coat of arms. So in the coat of arms, there is the aim and objective, which is Sri Lakshmi Narayan. Then there is the picture of Shiv Baba along with Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar. So how Baba is establishing the deity kingdom through Brahma Baba, that has to be explained. So Baba says, explain the coat of arms. Also explain what a loving intellect is and what a non-loving intellect is. Because if you ask anybody in the world whether they love God, they will say yes. But then if you tell them, do you know God? So they will say no. So if you love somebody without knowing them, that wouldn't be called true love. So Baba says, ask them, tell them the difference between a loving intellect and a non-loving intellect. So whether they love Baba or they love their idea of Baba. So Baba says, do you know the Father? Ask them. You wouldn't call your physical father God. Only the unlimited Father is the purifier and the ocean of happiness. It is only from Him that you receive an abundance of happiness. On the path of ignorance, they believe that their mother and father give them happiness. Then they are sent to the in-laws' house. Yours is the unlimited in-laws' house. So Baba says, so just like the parents send children to in-laws' house, Baba says, I send you to the unlimited in-laws' house. And there in the in-laws' house you become impure. But I send you from the world of impurity to the pure world, your in-laws' house, which is pure. That is a limited one. Perhaps that mother and father might give you 5 to 7 million or a billion. The father has named you the children who are going to be multi-millionaires. So Baba says, I give you so much of dowry. So I give you multi-million of fortune when you go to your in-laws' house. Just you have to be a good child, but right? So if you just obey what I say, I will send you to your in-laws' house where you will stay in happiness and bliss, and there you will have a lot of wealth, but you have to be a good child right now. So don't think about dressing yourself up right now. Stay the way I want you to stay, and then I will send you to that land of happiness. There it is not a question of wealth. You receive everything there. The palaces there are very beautiful. You receive palaces for birth after birth. There is the example of Sudama. So in the example of Sudama, it is said, He gave a handful of grains and he received palaces in return. So Baba says, you will also live in palaces, but what do you have to do for that? So people have heard about the handful of rice, and so they also bring that here. However, you can't eat rice by itself. Therefore, they also bring a few spices, etc. They bring it with so much love. They understand that Baba will provide for them for birth after birth. So they understand that this is an exchange offer, and in exchange for a handful, you receive so much. So Baba says this is why he's called the bestower. On the path of devotion, you give in the name of God, and this is why you receive something short-lived in your next birth. So on the path of devotion also, even when you give in the name of God, you receive something for which is short-lived and only for one birth. When someone gives something to the poor or opens a college, then in return for that donation, he receives an education in his next birth. If he builds a guest house for pilgrims, then because of the many who stayed and experienced happiness there, he receives a good home to stay in. Here, however, it is a matter of birth after birth. So Baba says, here you don't get it for a short-lived period of one birth. Whatever you give here will make you receive birth after birth, because here you are not giving in the name of God, you are giving it to God. And Baba says, I don't keep anything, I convert it into good karma. So Baba says, you know that whatever you give to Shiv Baba, it is going to be used for you. Shiv Baba doesn't keep anything for himself. He uses it for the upliftment of children. He told this one who, Brahma Baba, give everything you have and you will become the master of the world. He was granted a vision of destruction and a vision of the kingdom. He became so intoxicated that Baba was making him into the master of the world. In the Gita, it says that Arjuna was granted a vision and told, remember me and this is what you will become. He was granted a vision of destruction and establishment. This one's mercury of happiness also rose from the beginning, and Baba made this deal. He gave everything old, and that is why he claimed a right to having everything new and everything aplenty. This was part of the drama. No one knows this lucky chariot. Therefore, you children should keep this aim and objective in your intellects. We are becoming this. So always know that you are claiming a right to the kingdom, claiming a right to become a deity, and do whatever you can to take the benefit of this exchange offer. To the extent that you make effort, so you will claim a high status. It is remembered, follow the Father. Now the Father exchanged everything, so we also have to follow the Father. That refers to this time. The unlimited Father says, follow the advice I give you. I also tell you what this one did. God is also called the businessman, the jewel merchant, and the magician. Baba suddenly gave up everything. Previously, he was a jeweler of physical jewels, and he has now become a jeweler of the imperishable jewels of knowledge. It is such great magic to change hell into heaven. So, he became a jewel merchant, he became a magician, changing hell into heaven. He is also the businessman. Baba makes such a good bargain with you children. He takes your straws and handfuls of rice and gives you palaces in return. So Baba is a businessman and he makes a very good bargain, good for us because He gets nothing, but he gives us everything. And he makes a bargain where he takes our straws and handfuls of rice and gives palaces in return. He enables us to earn such great incomes. The business of diamonds and jewels also takes place in this way. When an American customer comes, he is charged 500 or 1000 rupees for something that costs 100 rupees. So if you have more, you give more. That is the law. They charge him a lot of money. You have the most ancient thing of all, and this is called ancient yoga. So Baba says, I give you the most ancient of everything, that is the ancient yoga. So you must give whatever you have so that you can claim a full right to this ancient yoga. You have now found the innocent Lord. He is so innocent. Just look what he is making you into. In return for your straws, look what he is making you into for 21 births. Human beings don't understand anything. Sometimes they say that the innocent Lord gave them something. Sometimes they say that Amba gave them that. Sometimes they say that the Guru gave them that. Here, this is a study. So Baba says this is not blind belief that you say God gave me or Amba gave me. So here is the study. You do this, you get this. Here we are understanding the laws of give and take. You are sitting in the godly university. This Gita is also called the godly university. God speaks is written in the Gita, but no one knows who God is. They think God is corporeal, Shri Krishna. Baba says, no, how God speaks, who God is, nobody knows. Ask anyone, do you know the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? The Father is the master of the garden. He is changing you from thorns into flowers. That is called the garden of Allah. Europeans speak of paradise. Bharat truly was a land of angels. It is now a graveyard. You are now becoming the masters of the land of angels again. The Father has come to awaken those who are sleeping. You know this number wise according to the efforts you make. Those who have woken up will also wake up others. If someone doesn't wake up others, it means that he himself hasn't yet woken up. Therefore, the Father explains these songs, etc. are also fixed in the drama. Some songs are very good. And Baba says, when you are unhappy, play these songs and you will become very happy. So sometimes we children also, our energy dips, and then what we should do is, we should listen to these songs which will recharge us. O traveler of the night, do not become weary. So this is the song that Baba says you can listen to when you are unhappy or tired. This song too is very good. The night is now coming to an end. People believe that the more worshipping they do, the sooner they will find God. When they have a vision of Hanuman, etc., they believe that they have found God. The Father says, all of those visions, etc., are fixed in the drama. So, if you create an intention to have a vision, then you get a vision because you get what you radiate into the universe. So that is according to the drama. Baba doesn't do anything in that. They are given a vision of whomever they have a feeling of devotion for. But there is no one really like that. The Father has said all of you should always have your badges with you. Many different types of badge are made. This badge is very good for explaining to others. You are the spiritual military. The military always have their insignia. When you children have your badges with you, you have the intoxication that this is what you are becoming. So there is a picture of your aim and objective in the badge, and you have the intoxication of who you are becoming when your badge is on. We are students. Baba is changing us from humans into deities. Human beings worship deities. Deities do not worship deities. So once we become deities, this worshipping will be over. Baba said that devotion and knowledge are like day and night. When there is night, there is no day. And when there is the day, there is no night. So when you are deities, you don't worship. When you become human from deities, you worship deities. Here, ordinary human beings worship deities because deities are elevated. And what is so elevated about the deities? That they are pure. So Baba says, you also become pure. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana. Always keep your aim and objective in your intellect. Always keep a picture of Lakshmi and Narayan with you. Stay happy knowing that you are studying in order to become like them. We are now God's students. Give your old straw and a handful of rice and receive a palace in return. Follow Father Brahma and become a jeweler of the imperishable jewels of knowledge. Blessing. May you be able to concentrate and control your mind with an injection of bodiless. Baba says, nowadays, if someone goes out of control, if he causes a lot of trouble, jumps around or becomes crazy, he is given an injection to quieten him down. In the same way, if your power of thought is not under your control, give yourself an injection of bodilessness. So just inject into your intellect, I am bodiless. I, the soul, am bodiless. Your power of thought will not then go to waste. You will easily be able to concentrate. However, if you give the reins of your intellect to the Father, but then take them back, your mind would create unnecessary hard work. Now become free from unnecessary hard work. So Baba says, stay very easy and free from waste by just being bodiless. Inject into your buddhi that I am a soul, I am bodiless, and I have all relations with Baba. Give your reins of your buddhi to Baba, and in this way you will be able to control your mind. Slogan. Keep your ancestor form in your awareness and have mercy for all souls. So Baba says, remember, I am an ancestor soul. Every soul is lower in hierarchy than me. They are children of Baba and I am with Baba. So I am the ancestor soul who has to have mercy on all souls. I cannot expect, I only have to have mercy for everyone. Om Shanti.